Hey guys, it's Sammy. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm doing a video that I've been putting off because it really shows that I have a problem. As you can see behind me, my shelves are destroyed, and that is because I just took off all the books that I bought or received as gifts in the fall months. Over the last 3 months, I have acquired 69 books. And when I say it's actually a problem, I mean this app genuinely, I'm actually kind of appalled at myself for acquiring this many books, knowing that a lot of them are not books that I've read. So I have 69 books to show to you guys today. I'm not going to be describing a lot of them. I might try to throw in a few brief words about them, but honestly, I don't know a lot about them. I bought most of them on Book Outlet on a whim because they're really cheap and they had deals. And it's a problem, and I would not recommend anyone to do this. Let's just jump into it. First book we got is The Forbidden Wish by Jessica Corey. This was acquired through Book Outlet because I wanted this book for a long time. I tried to get it through a trade, and the trade fell through and it really screwed me over. I finally got this. Really excited about it. It's a Aladdin retelling. Yeah, Aladdin retelling. Very excited. Next book I got was Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha. I got this at Barnes & Noble for their Black Friday sale. This was like $9 or something. I was really excited. It's been getting a lot of hype, very mixed reviews, but I've heard really good things from certain people like Books and Lala. So I'm really excited for this. It's very nice. It's very pretty. Very excited. Also picked up from Book Outlet Because You Love to Hate Me, edited by Emery, and it's like forwarded by a bunch of booktubers, and it's written by a bunch of YA authors. Really was excited for this. It's got mixed reviews also, but it's just a bunch of short stories about villains. Next book I got was something I pre-ordered from Amazon, and that was The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. I read The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. Absolutely loved it. I've heard bad things about this, but I'm still very excited to read it. So that's something. Next book I got from Book Outlet is Firsts by Lori Elizabeth Flynn. This is about a girl who has an open door policy, and she basically lets guys like come into her room to get experience. Yeah, you know guys, I just love trash. So this is also from Book Outlet. Where's this mark? Oh, it doesn't have a mark. That's funny. This is from Book Outlet. It's a trash book, okay? But I've been wanting to read this forever, so whatever. Next book I got was also from Book Outlet. That was Open Road Summer by Emery Lord. These are like the new covers. It's a contemporary romance. Very cliche, but I've been really like having a lot of fun with them recently, so I picked this up. Next book I picked up, also from Book Outlet, was The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. Vampire story. Holly Black has been getting a lot of hype recently for her writing. I've heard good things about this, and also vampires are kind of like coming back in. Very excited for this. Also picked this up at Book Outlet. Wow, why don't any of these have the marks? Making me look dumb. This next book was definitely an impulsive buy, and that is The Summer of Chasing Mermaids. This book was, I think, like 99 cents on Book Outlet, and I was like, why not? Because I've heard of it before. This is like a hardcover book too. It's not like a small book or anything, but this is by Sarah Auclair. This is about It's a summer contemporary romance. It has nothing actually to do with mermaids. I thought at first maybe it did, but it doesn't. It's just a summer contemporary romance, which is fine. It has good reviews, I think. Maybe. We're giving it a try. Next book I picked up from Book Outlet was I Believe in a Thing Called Love by Maureen Gu. I've heard a lot of great things about Maureen Gu. I'm very excited. It's been blurred by Morgan Matson. It's, you know, it's another contemporary romance, but the main character is Korean American or Korean, so I'm very excited for this. The next book I picked up from Book Outlet was Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pimborough, which was pretty highly recommended from Books and Lala. She's been reading, well, she always has been reading a lot of thrillers, and I've been kind of wanting to get more into thrillers, so I just picked out, I have another book in here, which is another one of her favorite thrillers, and she recently read this and absolutely loved it. That's the first stack. I still have not shown any books that I've already read, so that's great. You guys see where this is going. Now we're going to show a book that I have read. This is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I read this in October, and I absolutely loved it. But I won this in a giveaway through a blogger, and along with this I also won Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. I have only read this book, but I'm very excited to read these. It's about superheroes and these two college roommates who get into a bunch of trouble doing whack stuff with extraordinary people. Very fun, very much excited to read the second book ASAP, but I got these two. The next book I got was The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand, which I wanted. It's like a Christmas, it's a Christmas story. It's a Christmas story retelling. Ebenezer Scrooge, the spirits of Christmas, you know what I'm talking about. Very excited. I wasn't planning on reading this during Christmas, but then I was like, oh shoot, this is a Christmas book, but it's past Christmas now, so I'm not gonna be reading this. I don't know if I'll wait till next Christmas or read it whenever, because I've heard really amazing things about this, but this is a thing that I acquired through Book Outlet. The next book I am super excited about. I acquired this through Barnes & Noble on Black Friday once again, and that is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hong, and I've heard nothing but great things about this. It's about a girl who has Asperger's, and she's like fake, I think it's a fake dating plot with her escort. Yeah, it's an escort, fake dating escort, and I'm freaking excited. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this. So excited. I have another book that's similar to this that I picked up that I'm very excited about also, which I will come up with later. It's somewhere in the stack. A book that I read it on audiobook and had to buy a physical copy of, Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. I don't have much to say about this. If you haven't read it yet, that's very surprising, honestly. I feel like everyone's read this. Next book I picked up was This Song Will Save Your Life by Layla Sales. Emma from Emma Books has recommended this up and down. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I love this cover. It was like $2 on Book Outlet. It's very short. Very excited to read it. I think it's about like underground EDM music. Very exciting. That's something I'm very into. Another book that I already have read, that is The Air by Kira Cass. It's part of the selection series. I never had a physical copy of this because I read the first book on ebook. This is technically the fourth book, but I read this on ebook and I never had a physical copy. So now I have that. This next book is an ARC, and it is No Place Like Here by Christina June. I won this in a giveaway. This book is coming out May 21st, 2019. I would love to read it before it comes out, so I'm hoping to do that sometime in the future. This is a retelling of Hansel and Gretel. So I don't really actually know anything about Hansel and Gretel, but it looks like she's sent to work at a treatment center in the middle of nowhere, and I'm sure she meets a boy, and it's very drama. Next book I got from Book Outlet was The Perfectionist by Sarah Shepard. Trina from Between Chapters read this a little bit ago, and she really enjoyed it from what I remember, so I picked this up. It's by the same author that wrote Pretty Little Liars. I have no interest in reading that long series, but this is only a duology. I saw it on Book Outlet. It was like $2. I was like, sure. I have a problem. Mentioned this briefly earlier. The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, another book I picked up on Black Friday at Barnes & Noble. Very excited to read this. Heard nothing but good things. Love to hate. And I'm excited. Next book I picked up was Letters to the Lost by Bridget Kemmerer, which is highly recommended by Dylan over from Dylan Reads Books. Or did he change his name? Dylan is reviewing Dylan Reads Books. I don't know. I think he might have changed his name, but Dylan recommends this very highly. I have the second book in this sort of like series. I think it's like a companion novel, but I wanted to read this one first. So now I have it. Very excited to pick this up in the future. Next book I have is The Prince's Gambit, which is a book 2 of the Captive Prince trilogy. So what basically happens, my grandfather bought me these books. I know, he brought me this book. If you know anything about this book, you know, like, Jesus, Sammy, seriously. But he accidentally bought me the second one in front of the first one. I bought the first one. It's in here somewhere. We'll get to it later. Don't know where it is right now. I got this. If you don't know what this is, it's I don't even know, honestly. I just heard Chandler from Chandler Ainsley talking about it, and I've heard a lot of different people talking about it, and I was like, sure, let's read some really dark smut. Okay, let's move on. Then I also got Happily Ever After by Kira Cass. This is all the short stories from the selection. I've read all of these. I've actually never read this actual copy though. I think there's like extra stuff in here. Yeah, there's like pictures and stuff. So maybe I'll flip through this at some point, but I have this. I've already read it, so that's good. I have so many books left. It's actually ridiculous. We need to start going through this faster. We have Cherry by Lindsay Roshan. This is about a sex pact, I'm pretty sure. Book Outlet, of course. We have Restore Me by Tara Mafi. Yet to read this. I know, I'm behind. What's new, okay? What's new? Captive Prince, book 1. I'm sure you've heard of Captive's Prince, guys. I know you've heard of it. If you haven't, look it up because I don't want to talk about it. Okay? thing. Then we have Wanderlost by Jen Malone. It's another contemporary romance, okay guys? I'm pretty sure this is about like going on a European tour with like old people, and like there's another tour guide with her, and it's a guy, and it's gonna be cute, I hope. Actually, I don't think this has great reviews, but it's gonna be cute. I know. Next book we got is The Boy Most Likely To by Huntley Fitzpatrick. Contemporary romance. Yeah, it literally doesn't have any sort of plot in the description, is basically talking how it's a romance, so that's that. Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. Read this, loved it, absolutely adored, cannot wait to read the next one. Watch the movie if you haven't already. Waking Gods by Soleil Nouvelle, a book that I listened to, an audiobook that I absolutely loved. This is the second book in the Themis Files. The first book's in here somewhere too. We'll get to it later. The Unbound by V.E. Schwab. Victoria Schwab. Absolutely loved the first book, The Archives. I picked up the second book, haven't read it yet, very excited to. It's definitely on the list, like upcoming TBR. We're gonna get to it. Next we got A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallero. Who is it? Rocky from Blonde with the Book. Absolutely raised about this book. Always, I need to pick it up. I saw it on Book Outlet. I was like, this is what I need in my life. So glad I found this. Very excited to read it. I think there's 3 books out in the series. It's a retelling of Sherlock Holmes. Very excited. I finally picked up The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. I've heard a lot of good things about this, a lot of bad things about this. It was pretty hyped up in October months, so I'm very excited to read it. It's very pretty, honestly, just for that. And look, wait. Like, I'm honestly just stoked I got it just for that reason, even if it's awful. So, got this. Oh, it's like blue. It's so pretty. The next book I got is China Rich Girlfriend, which is the sequel to Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. It's the sequel. I haven't read it yet, but it's a sequel that I plan on reading very soon. And then this was 99 cents on Book Outlet, so I got The Conspiracy of Us by Maggie Hall. But recently I saw someone talk about how this is like one of the most underhyped series like they've ever read, so now I'm kind of excited about it. So that's a thing. And because I forgot to tell my grandfather an updated list, I also have another copy of The Conspiracy of Us by Maggie Hall that I will be trying to trade with people. So if you want this book, look out on my Twitter. Oh, and this is about secret societies, which is also like very interested in, so hope for the best. Next book I got was All the Rage by Courtney Summers. I recently read Sadie by Courtney Summers, which is also in this pile somewhere, and I absolutely loved it. So now I have this, which I can also read, which I think is just about this girl who kind of goes off the deep end, and it's about, yeah, it's missing, I see party, I see fight or carry the burden of knowing more girls could get hurt if she doesn't speak up. Lots going on in here, very excited, hoping for the best. And then I have 2 books in a series that I've yet to finish. We have Queens of Fenburn, which is a novella in the 3 Dark Crown series, and then I have the 3rd book in the 3 Dark Crown series, which is 2 Dark Thrones. Haven't read this yet. It's on the list, but I don't remember much from the first 2 books. I have to do something about that. Next book I have here is Dumplin' by Julie Murphy. I listened to this on audiobook. I enjoyed it enough. Saw the movie, absolutely fantastic. Loved the movie. So I have a physical copy of this now. So if you haven't seen the movie, definitely check it out. If you haven't read the book, I'd still recommend it, but the movie is definitely fantastic if you don't want to spend all the time reading it. The next book I got was Nice Try, Jane Sinner, which is a book that Emma from Emma Books was raving about a long time ago. Saw it on Book Outlet. I was like, oh my god, I need this. It's about this girl who's in community college and she goes on like a show that's kind of like Big Brother. So excited. I love reality show bullshit, drama, whatever. Excited. And then I did another oops. I got And I Darken by Kirsten White twice. A lot bigger than I thought it was. It's like really tall. And it's a Vlad the Impaler retelling. I've heard good things about it, especially from Allie M Books. Allie M Reads? Allie M Books? I always mess up reads and books. It's one of those. I think this is one of her favorite books of all time. Very excited to read it. It's big though. It's definitely, I'm not going to get to this anytime soon, if we're being honest. But I'm glad I have it. I mentioned this briefly earlier, but this is the other book that Books and Lala was like hyping up, and that is I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh. She says this has one of the best plot twists she's ever read. Super excited for that. Also, this isn't from Target, it's from Book Outlet, but I guess it was originally from Target. And yeah, I also asked my grandfather for my birthday to give me a book that he thought I would like. So he gave me The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I don't know anything about this. I think this has that character that everyone hates. What's its name? What's his name? Caldwell or something? What's his name? Why isn't there a description on this? It's just like, it's Is it supposed to be like that? I feel like it's not. The back is the same as the front. Okay. Oh, Holden Caulfield? I feel like that's his name. I think it's Holden Caulfield, and I don't think people like him. So we're just gonna see where that goes. Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Nouvelle. I think you've heard me talk about this a lot. I read it on audiobook. It's fantastic. It's a full cast audiobook. It's about robots, sort of. Outer space robots. I also got The Fill-In Boyfriend by Casey West. I've been trying to slowly read Casey West books. I read her first book. I don't know if it was actually her first book. The first book I read from her, I didn't like that much. But I've heard good things about this. It's about fake dating trope. Love that shit. So, hoping for the best for this one. Also got a physical copy of The Impossibility of Us. This is the story of a girl who moves to the seaside coast and after her brother dies to help out with her sister-in-law, and she falls in love with this boy there, but it turns out he's Afghani, and her parents and sister-in-law are very prejudiced because her brother died in war in Afghanistan. It's so good. If you haven't read it yet, please check it out. I will hype this book up till I die. You know what I'm saying? I will hype this book up, so please check it out. I think it's worth it. Next book I got was The Start of Me and You by Emery Lord. This is another book I got just because the cover's really pretty. It's a contemporary romance, and this one actually is probably summer. Oh, actually, it's not summer. It has this cover because of her first boyfriend died in a swimming accident. That's sad. Next book I got, book I loved and read on audiobook, Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys. Love Ruta Sepetys. This is about World War II. This is about the Russian war camps, the Siberian war camps, and very sad, upsetting, but so amazing, and you should read it if you haven't. Sadie by Courtney Summers. I read this on audiobook. I absolutely recommend 100% that you read this on audiobook if you have a chance to. Download Audible, get the free trial, read this book on audiobook. It is so amazing. It features a podcast, and it's about this girl who went missing after her sister died, and it's so good. It's so good. The audiobook is fantastic, but I want a physical copy because this is one of my favorite books. Loved it. Okay. Then I got The Siren by Kira Cass. I listened to this on audiobook last year. Figured I'd pick up a physical copy because they all look the same as the selection, and I just like all of those books, and I like having all of Kira Cass's books because now I think I own all of Kira Cass's books, which makes me feel kind of warm and fuzzy inside. So yeah. Next book I got was Dangerous Girls by Abigail Haas. When I saw this on Book Outlet, I was like, oh my god, this is the #1 book on my TBR from back in the day. This was the first book I added on Goodreads on my to be read, and now I have it. It's a thriller. I think it's similar to I was about to say Amanda Bynes. Amanda Knox with goes out of the country, something bad happens outside the country. Yeah, drama, but I've heard good things about it. I should read this sooner rather than later after I read more good thrillers, because I know this one probably isn't the most top tier, but I'm really excited to read it regardless. Also picked up Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is the 3rd book in the Illuminate Files series. I'm very excited to read this. I really want to read this actually very soon because I love this format. I'm very excited to read it. You can see my ring light. Sorry guys. Hope to finish this soon. Next book I got is Tease by Amanda Maciel, which is, I think this is just a book about bullying and harassment, suicide, that sort of stuff. I've heard good things about it. I love this cover. I think it's beautiful. So, this was also one of the books that's been on my TBR forever. And I also have Exit, Pursued by Bear by E.K. Johnson, which I've heard very good things about. This is about this girl who gets drugged at a party, and when she comes to, well, not really when she comes to, later on she finds out that she's pregnant, and it follows that. She's a cheerleader. I don't know a lot about it, but I've heard really good things about it, and it sounds like it's gonna be really deep and emotional and sad and all of that. Next book, Kill the Boy Band by Goldie Moldalski. Been wanting this forever. Got on Book Outlet. Actually, my grandfather. All these last books are actually all recently from Christmas from my grandfather. Book Outlet. Got this. Beautiful. Heard a lot of great things about it recently. It doesn't have good reviews on Goodreads though, so we'll see. Next book I got, These Shallow Grades by Jennifer Donnelly. I don't know what this is about. It's about this girl discovering all the stuff about her father's death. I thought this book was small. Guys, it's freaking it's bigger than my head. It's massive. So that's a thing. Good job, Sammy. You just love getting those books. You're never gonna... I've heard really good things about it. but it's massive, so. And then I thought this book would be really big, but it's really small. It is The Girl Who Fell by S.M. Parker. I think this is about a girl who's in an abusive relationship. I'm pretty sure Trina from Between Chapters also has raved about this book, about how it shows an abusive relationship in the right sort of way, if that makes any sense. So I've been really excited to read this. Also, the cover is gorgeous. That's not what we're here for though, guys. I forgot I put this on my list. So when I opened this, I was like, oh my god. I got The Midnight Star by Marie Lu. I haven't read a single book in the Young Elite series, and I honestly haven't heard great things about the Young Elite series recently, but we're gonna have to give it a try sometimes because now I have all 3 books. It's a problem. It's fine. And then I got The Truth About Alice, which is so small. I don't even know, is this even 200 pages? Yeah, so it's 199 pages, which I did not know, and which I'm very excited about because it's super small, which means I can get through it very quickly. Katie from Kate's Book Date has talked about this is one of her favorite books. I believe it's about a girl who, yeah, slut shaming and different stuff about that, and what's actually the truth. Very excited about this. And then I got to First and Then by Emma Mills. I do that so often too. This is just a contemporary story as well. I know that Kayla from Books and Lala absolutely love this. I think it's just a contemporary romance. I'm excited. Beautiful cover once again. This is another book that I was like, Sammy, what? They All Fall Down by Roxanne St. Clair. Can someone tell me what this cover is? Do you see this? This is ridiculous. This is about a girl. Every year, the lives of 10 girls at Vienna High are transformed, all because of the list. Kenzie Summer can't imagine how she's been voted onto a list of the hottest girls in school, but when she lands at number 5, her average life becomes dazzling. Doors open to the best parties, new friends surround her, the cutest jock in schools after her. This is the power of the list. If you're on it, your life changes. If you're on it this year, your life ends. I'm trash. Can't wait to read this, guys. You know what? You can say whatever you want, but I'm excited. Next book I got, Faking Normal by Courtney Stevens. No, what's the other girl's name? Not Courtney Stevens. Yeah, I think Dylan has also raved about this book. Got it on Book Outlet. My grandfather got it on Book Outlet. It came autographed, which is really, really cool. This is another contemporary, but I think this is more of like a darker contemporary. Yeah. Alex Little hasn't told anyone what happened to her over the summer by her backyard pool. It's like a dark story. It sounds similar to like the likes of like Speak and Speechless, so I'm excited to read that. Next book I got was Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. It's funny because I literally just unadded this to my TBR because I'm pretty sure it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, yeah. And I'm kind of over those because nothing will live up to ACOTAR in my mind, so that's really close-minded of me. I'm gonna give this a chance, but I already hate how their names are Nyx and like being so dramatic. I don't know. We'll see. I've heard not great things about this. Not to be confused with These Shallow Graves. This is Just Shallow Graves by Collie Wallace. 17-year-old Breezy Lynn wakes up in a shallow grave 1 year after her death. She doesn't remember who killed her or why. Oh, this is good stuff. This is definitely good stuff. I wonder if this has good reviews. It probably does. Should I look it up? I don't have time for this. Okay. This sounds really good. I'm really excited now. That's like really like intriguing instantly. So there's that. Next book, The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. Wow. Didn't know. I don't think I've ever said that author's name. I definitely have seen this book a million times though. I think this is another story of like something changes. Oh yeah, it actually says it the night her brother's best friend rapes her. It's a rape story. Very emotional. I've heard that this made a lot of people cry. It's gonna be a time. And then next book I got is A Madness So Discreet by Mindy McGinnis, which is about this girl who's like considered crazy and she's pregnant and she helps this detective like figure out things in like different cases. I think she's like an assistant. I've heard semi good things about this. I've heard great things about Mindy McGinnis, so we're gonna see. And the last book, my friends, Vanishing Girls by Lauren Oliver. I don't know what this is about, but it's by Lauren Oliver and I loved Before I Fall. So, okay guys, that was all my books, okay? Like I said, there were 69 of them and it's a problem and I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself, but this is my life. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this video has probably been really freaking long. I'm really sorry, but I hope you enjoyed me going through all these books. Maybe you found some books that you were interested in. I know there's a lot of books in here I didn't really know anything about, and now I know more about them, so that's good. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys all have a great day. I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye!
Save me.